My name is Avana Vatia. You can call me the Empress. So on Tuesdays by 10 p.m. 2200 West African time, I intend to be going live every Tuesdays. And if Tuesdays get filled up, I should get into Tarot Thursdays as well. So I'm reading live from Abuja, Nigeria, Jahi, from TheQforTarot. If you see me looking that way, I'm trying to keep up with comments and questions and things like that. The last time I was live, I didn't know how to do it, but I think I'm just going to look. So I've got two questions today to take care of. One is a full 12 card spread. The other one is a 3 card spread. So I'll be starting with the 12 card spread. And this reading is for Dan. The question is, what truth do I need to align with now to fully step into my purpose? I'll take that again. What truth do I need to align with now to fully step into my purpose? So let's see what comes out. I'm going to get 3 cards first, and then I'll get 3 cards to clarify each of the 3 cards, so we end up with the 12 card spread. Okay, so let's see. The Emperor, upright. The Hierophant, upright as well. And the Lovers, upright as well. Interesting, 3 major arcanas across board, so 3 major life lessons. When the Emperor, okay, so the question is let me take that again. What truth do I need to align with now to fully step into my purpose? These are 3 major arcanas that have come up for you, Dan. We've got the Emperor. When the Emperor comes up, it reminds you that you need structure. The Emperor is actually classified as the divine masculine, and the Emperor is the king of all the kings. So that's the king of wands, or in my deck, king of batons, which is someone that is a visionary, someone that knows how to channel and control all their passions and their desires and their drives into actual productive things. We've also got the king of coins, which is someone that is financially abundant, has generational wealth, and has generational wealth. You've also got the king of swords, or the king of blades in my deck, which is someone that is an intellectual, that knows how to channel their thoughts, knows how to use their words, someone whose words command respect. And we've also got the king of cups, or majesty of vessels in my deck, which is actually someone that is very in tune with their emotions, and that actually can be considered an empath. So that's one on one side. So you need to really embody the energy of the Emperor. The Emperor brings structure. The Emperor is an icon. The Emperor is very confident, sits solidly, is able to command nations and command all the elements. So you need to embody that. The Hierophant came up next for you, and the Hierophant came up upright. So the Hierophant also talks about structure, but more into like institution. It might require you to go into like higher learning, subject yourself to like an institution, of not mental institution, but more like higher learning or more long-term commitment, so that you can hone and develop your skills appropriately. Or you might need to put yourself like in a teaching role, because people always say, if you know how to teach something, how does it go? You can't say you know something that well if you know how to teach it. So the more you share your gift with people, the more you remain teachable and are also able to share your gifts with other people, the better you get in alignment with your dreams. And then the lovers came up upright. So a partnership might be in the works. You might want to consider partnerships. The lovers doesn't, mostly when the lovers comes up, it talks about like romantic relationship, but it doesn't always have to be a romantic relationship. It just talks about knowing who you want to partner with long term. And when lovers comes up, you are reminded that nobody is exactly like you are. Nobody's exactly going to act how you act. So the important thing is to find people that have similar interests as yourself and are bound by the same like ethics and morals. People that So even though your acts might be different, the end goal is the same, and it has to be blessed by God. So let's get more cards. Let's get more information about this Emperor energy that you are being advised to embody. You've got the Seven of Batons in reverse. When the Seven of Batons comes upright, it talks about like challenges, knowing fully well that you are valuable, but then people might want to test you still, but that came up in reverse. So it's saying, you have to like choose your battles. It's not every fight you have to attend, not every fight you have to honor. As an emperor, think of like a renowned warrior. The renowned warrior is not just going to fight with anybody. You have to be a worthy opponent. So with the Seven of Battles coming up in reverse, it's saying choose your battles, know what you are lending your energy to. Let me get two more for lessons from the Emperor. Okay, hello, Ahisa. Hi, new subscriber. Thank you for subscribing. If you would like a free one card reading, you could drop your question in the comments and I'll do just one card for you. Eight of Coins upright. Eight of Coins upright talks about development. Talks about the fact that you might have analyzed what you've done so far, found out what works, and then now you are going to spend more time focusing on what works and then developing it. Let me get one more. So the Emperor, and that's the thing, you just don't get to like king status just like that. It's a process. You have to go from page to knight to queen to king, and the Emperor is the king of all the kings. So really you're advised to take stock and find out, look at your achievements and focus and reiterate what already works with development. Don't waste your time trying to prove yourself to anybody. You have come as far as you've come as a result of a lot of experience and hard work. And then now you should focus on what actually works and then build on that. So let me get one more card for the Emperor energy for Dan. The Four of Coins upright. The Four of Coins upright normally talks about conservation, where you have resources but you are very careful about how you expend them and how you decide on what to do with them. So it's really to embody the Emperor energy, you are advised to do away with unnecessary energy drainers or energy draining activities. You have nothing to prove to anybody. Focus on what actually works and then put your back into it to develop it. And while you're at it, be very careful when it comes to your spending. Now, spending, they are both coming up as money cards. I color-coded my deck. They're both coming up as money cards. But then it's not only your money that is valuable, your time is also valuable. When people say pay attention, you're actually paying, you are giving your attention. So you're advised to give your attention to what you've worked on that is already working. Be frugal in your spending, your spend of your money, your finances, and your time and your attention as well. And don't waste time. Yeah, that's it. You are already on top. Anybody that is fighting you is already beneath you. So there's no point focusing on what doesn't work. All right, so let's get into advice from the Hierophants. Let's find out if you are meant to get into like some form of higher study, or if you are meant to be the counselor or the teacher, as the case may be. The Four of Blades, upright, which talks about rest, recuperation. That came upright, okay. When the other cards come out, I would have a better idea what side of the Hierophant you actually are. Let me get two more. Five of Blades, upright, which deals with conflict. Death, upright, which deals with regeneration. So I think at this point in time, it's leaning towards you actually have to get some more information by actually subjecting yourself to some form of study, maybe like continuous study, take a couple of workshops, independent study, whatever. But it's a time where you actually need to pull back and rest. Blades have to do with like your thinking processes, how you process things and how you communicate them effectively. And it's saying right now, when it comes to communication, it's time for you to rest a little bit. Don't overthink things. Just give yourself a breather so you can do away with this, all the conflicts that might come up. And in your moment of learning, you would learn how to rest. You should learn how to manage conflicts, how to communicate your ideas and your thoughts and your ideals in a productive manner. And you also learn how to let things go because you know better is coming. People really get scared when the death card comes up in tarot, but death is just another avenue to regenerate. That's just what it is. Every death comes to everybody, and sometimes things have to die before new things come into place. You have to do away with old and stressful thinking processes and know when to rest, know how to learn to rest, and know how to productively compartmentalize your thoughts while you are resting so that you would be able to do away with things that no longer serve because you are making room for more, for better things. Okay, so let's get into advice about the Lovers, possible partnerships, how to make strategic partnerships that are in alignment with your divine purpose. Let me get 3 cards for that. 8 of Blades came up in reverse. 8 of Blades deals with like anxiety and anguish, where you might feel overwhelmed because you're taking on too much at one time. Like, look at this guy right here. It does look like he's bound by barb, but he has his own sword. He can actually wiggle his way out through this. So if you find that you are getting overwhelmed with thoughts, just give yourself time to pause, strategize, look around so that you can walk your way out of any mess that you might find yourself into. And that came up in reverse. So it's saying if you are looking for any partnerships or anything, look for someone that is proactive, that doesn't spend their time, that because it came up in reverse. Look for someone that is able to see the sun shining in no matter how dull this situation is. The person knows how to wield their thoughts. The person knows how to think proactively to be able to get you out of any sticky situation. Let me get 2 more. Warrior of Coins in reverse, also known as the Knight of Pentacles in reverse. The Warrior of Coins is actually someone that is very intentional, that is able to guard because now we're talking about coins, which has been like your great idea and your resources. The Warrior of Coins is actually one of the slowest moving cards in tarot, but it came up in reverse. So it's saying you need to get someone that is actually proactive, someone that talks the talk and walks the walk without wasting too much time. Because remember, you are supposed to be resting. So you need to find someone that you could actually partner with, someone that might have more time to do the grunt, I think it's called grunt work. But someone that is still very intentional intentional but proactive. So let me get one more. Now, these are two, I just need one more. Six of Blades. Interesting. Six of Blades talks about assistance, it's transition, and it's still partnership. So when the Six of Blades comes up, also known as the Six of Swords, when it comes up, it's telling you a partnership is needed, and this might look like an unlikely partnership. You can see here there's two people of two different ages. But then you need to ask yourself, okay, why is this younger person going with this older person? Why? And vice versa. So you might need to partner with somebody that you might traditionally consider not as experienced as you are, or not as, particularly not as experienced as you are, but you do need an injection of fresh energy. That's just what it is. Okay, so let me see. So those are all the 12 cards that have come up for Dan of how to be more in alignment with his purpose, what to do to move forward with his purpose. There's no blue cards on here, so no vessels, emotion, nothing about emotions here. We've got stuff about major arcana, so major life lessons to pay attention to, which are you are to embody the energy of the Emperor and be a master of all the elements of your finances, of your thoughts, of your emotions, and of your drive, your energy, what motivates you. You need to get some study in one way or the other. There's some information that somebody, a structured person, would benefit you. This might involve you enrolling into some sort of course or taking some independent study or even seeing a counselor of some sort, but you do need an alternative perspective from a more experienced person that is unbiased. And you also need to find a partnership. And also, you have to appreciate the endings of things so that you know how to move forward. When it comes to finances, it's saying you already know what works, what you've been doing for a long time. Develop on that, focus on it, and multiply it, make it work. And while you're multiplying it, you have to be careful so that you don't overextend yourself and misuse your resources. And it's saying you actually, with the Warrior of Coins coming up in reverse, is actually saying you do need somebody that is careful but more energetic and more proactive and faster moving than you actually would. When it comes to how you think about things and how you communicate things, rest is important. It's important that you don't overwork yourself. It's important that you give yourself time to process all the information that you might have gotten from this Hierophant, this counselor, so that you are able to have more meaningful conversations where you're able to present your thoughts and communicate effectively, so that you're able to conquer anybody with differing opinions that might delay your progress. You need to, reinforcing the need for rest and the need to be able to conquer conflicting ideas or thought processes is the information that you have to be able to see the brighter picture so that you don't feel overwhelmed. Compartmentalization is very important, and empowering yourself is very important as well. And you need you need fresh eyes. You need younger ideas. You might need to network with younger people or not as experienced people. So let me see what else. And also, don't waste your time trying to defend. Your work speaks for itself at this point, so there's no need attending to everybody that questions you or wants to challenge you. That came up in reverse as well. Let me see what else. I think that's just it. You have to remember who you are and remember who you are trying to be, which is an emperor. And to get to that, you actually do need to learn a little bit more from some place. I don't know, you would figure that out, and you need to partner with younger, fresher eyes, energy, all of that. Let me see. Let me get one card from this deck. And then I'll be rounding up with the 12 card spread for Dan. Anxiety came up again. Anxiety came up. So this is something that you actually do need to focus on. And look at it. Anxiety is up here. And then we've been talking about rest and recuperation. We've been talking about conflict resolution. We've been talking about feeling empowered. And we've been talking about assistance. There's nothing to be anxious about. It's just a process of things. And yeah, you're already coming up as the emperor, so it's now actually to live that emperor energy. I hope this helped. If you want to clarify or ask any more personal questions, you can actually book a reading for that done, and we'll get more info on that. So I hope that helped. All right, so let me shuffle, and then I'll get into the next question. I think today is going to be a short one. No, let me read the question first before I start shuffling, so I know for certain that any cards that come out are actually meant for this person. Okay, so the next question, this is for B, and this says, I want to know about my love life, my financial future, and my future in general. I've lost a lot recently and I'm isolating. I don't have friends. I haven't been in a stable relationship before. I just want to know why and how I can move forward in a better way. Okay, so from the question, you do need just general information. Let's see. So I'm going to do a reading. I'm going to do 3 cards for you. But what I'm going to do is okay, so what I'll do is I'm going to do a couple of mini reads for you, B. There's a lot that you want to know, and with 3 cards, you're not really going to get that much. So what I would do is, let me do, okay, so let's look at, because that's the thing, when it comes to love life, or financial future in general, or friends, it's all about connections. It's all about connections. So let's find out. I'll do 2 for you. I'll do 1 for like financial connections, so connections like with businesses, jobs, your finances. And the second one I'm going to do is for connections like romantic and platonic. I'm going to lump those 2 together. So, okay, so let's see why, this is just going to be advice for your finances. 3 things to consider when it comes to your finances. Okay, let's do that. So 3 things B needs to consider when it comes to finances. Majesty of Coins jumped right out. Okay. Majesty of Coins. Majesty of Coins is the King of Coins. So this is someone that has full control of their finances, has enough money, that is able to have like generational wealth. So it coming up, if you're having problems with your finances, this might be somebody that you might need to meet, or somebody that you are going to meet. Let's see. When 2 more cards come out, I'll have a clearer idea. 4 of Vessels, Contemplation. Okay. Eight of Vessels in reverse. 8 of Vessels talks about detachment and walking away from things that no longer serve you. Okay. So when it comes to your finances, it does seem like you actually get presented with very lucrative opportunities, but you focus too much on something that doesn't work. And then when it's time to walk away, you don't. So it does seem that you are missing a lot of opportunities, because you might be allowing because vessels have to do with emotions. You might be allowing your emotions take over. It might be that you've actually been presented with actual good opportunities, but you mix business and pleasure. There has to be a distinct difference with that, so that you know when things are no longer in alignment and you stop holding on to dreams that are not exactly lucrative. It's not everything that you enjoy doing that you can actually monetize, and it's not every hobby of yours that you're actually meant to monetize, because it does seem like there seems to be something that you are hell-bent on focusing on, and that is making you lose other opportunities because you think this is the main thing, but then what you are focusing on is something that actually does not serve you long term. So the advice when it comes to your finances is to look, before you invest so much into your finances and things, make sure you're looking at the bigger picture and you're not focusing too much on just one thing, that you are getting bored and missing all other opportunities, so that you are able to switch, because that's one thing that has to be constant. Change is constant. I have a friend that says, how does he say it? It's something like, are you going to, something about evolving or repeating itself, but then with the Four of Vessels, this seems like you keep on repeating, when actually it's time to evolve. So if you have a particular business idea that you've been focusing on, one thing that I can guarantee is going to work is if you find the Majesty of Coins that Majesty of Coins that has actually elevated and is as successful as you would like to be. Speak to them, take your time and look at how they handle their things. To be successful when it comes to finances, there has to be a certain level of, you have to have a certain level of you have to be cutthroat at some point. You have to be able to separate your emotions from your profits, and you have to find a way to make if you want to be an entrepreneur, you have to find a way to make your things you are creative about, how to monetize them. But then you might have to look at things more from the eyes of an entrepreneur and not just a creative, because when it comes to all the elements, vessels have to do with more of like creativity and intuition, but when you're dealing with finances and material abundance things, there has to be a sense of practicality. If you are dealing with the elements, this is water, and then this is earth, and earth is actually more stable than water. Water flows. Earth is actually more stable. So if you are looking for long-term financial stability, you have to be able to look at the bigger picture and not just focus on what you want. You can have a fantastic product, but you have to have the interest of the buyers. So you have to find a way to transform your ideals into profitable things, and you have to be able to walk away from things that no longer serve you. Sometimes things just don't happen sometimes things materialize and manifest at a later time. I'll give you an example. Like myself, all what I'm doing right now, I've spent years. Some of the things I'm into just this year are things I've spent 10 years, but I didn't discard them. I just put them on one side and focused on something else. And then it's now time to revisit it. But then I had to get a lot of mentorship from very successful business owners, and particularly female business owners that are fully aware of the limitations and struggles that we face as females in Nigeria. So so that's what I would advise. Okay, so let's get into the next one. I said I was going to do for you was how to have better friends and also better relationships in general, from friends to romantic relationships. So let's see how you show up, or how you should show up to have more productive and more mutually fulfilling relationships or friendships. So I'm going to get 3 cards for that. So how can B get more fulfilling relationships, connections? Eight of Buttons in reverse. Eight of Buttons talks about like momentum, fast movement. So that comes up in reverse. So it's saying you might want to slow down. People actually get very, let me see, Five of Coins in reverse. Five of Coins deals with lack mentality. That came up in reverse as well. Let me get one more. Ace of Vessels upright. Okay. From first thing that came to my mind is you actually need to, with the Eight of Buttons in reverse, so Eight of Buttons has to do with like fast movement, also has to do with like communication. So it's saying you have to read the room before you read the room to see how things are before you communicate fully what it is that you want from a friendship or relationship. Nobody would appreciate it if you're coming like, oh, I want this. No, you have to be more observant. Don't, how they say, listen twice and talk once. You have to, when it comes to communication, effective communication is great when you know the subject of what you want to communicate and you know how to communicate it in a way that the receiver actually receives what it is that you have to say. But if you don't take your time to read the room and you're just going fast and oversharing, because oversharing is also a very, that is quite iffy. Nobody wants and to just meet somebody one day and start hearing all their life story. Nobody wants to hear that. So you have to slow down and read the room so you know how fast you need to move when it comes to any form of connection, from friendships to romantic connections or whatever. And then with the Five of Coins came up in reverse. So it's saying be more appreciative of the things you have. This is somebody that is crying because they've got 3 coins lost, but then they have 2 coins. So you have to have a very pleasant personality where people don't always hear you complaining of how things are not working. Because if you have somebody that overshares and talks too much and what they are talking about is what they don't have, that's emotionally draining. Nobody wants to take on another person's problems. That's just the truth. You have to have a certain level of rapport before you can start burdening people with the things that are not just working in your life. The whole thing of fake it till you make it, that it kind of works relationships too. You have to be a delight to be around. It's when people get to know you better and then you develop a level of trust and communication with them. And you have to even make sure that they are even the people that you need to be telling what you are telling. Because we are meant to have different friends for different things. It's not the same friend that you go to the club with that you go studying with most of the time. It's not you might have friends that are better to go discount or bargain shopping with. You might have friends that are better to go studying with. You might have friends that know how to relax and everything. But you cannot take the expectations from one friend group and put it on another friend group just because you want to bond with them that well. You have to make sure that the level of connection that you want with them is something that they actually appreciate and they are going to reciprocate. Because if they are always being there for you and you are not in a position to be there for them, it's not going to be balanced and that's not going to work out. So you have to be valued and you have to be valuable. You have to be, valuable. And then Ace of vessels came up upright. So you really have to be sure that you are actually available to be a good friend or to be a good partner. There's no point in wanting to have a social life if you don't have the time for it, or you have not healed from things that have not worked in previous times. Because if you don't heal before you get into any form of connections, even friendships, whatever, if you don't, you find out that you are bleeding from other people that hurt you over somebody new. So it's just saying you have to slow down and read the room first. It's always better before you start. And that's one mistake that I know I've made a lot. And I know a couple of people that made that mistake. You get to meet somebody, you get so excited, like, oh, there's no point hiding, there's no point forming. I'm going to tell them how I am. I'm going to make everything clear. I'm going to give them a cheat sheet. I'll tell them I like this, so they don't do it. And I'm like, you're not even sure that person even wants to talk to you again. Really. Before you start listing all your rules and regulations, you might think you're being upfront, but you have to allow things organically flow. So you have to slow down. We're moving too fast and communicating too much too soon, something that you need to slow down and work on. And you also have to learn to count your blessings. Stop focusing and crying over things that are no longer in your possession. What you actually do have are things that you should hold proudly. Be proud of how far you've come. All the things that haven't worked so far, there's one thing that they haven't done. They haven't defeated you at all. So you have to take a lot of time to reflect and go back and really think about, okay, how can I show up better? How did I mess up in previous relationships or friendships? Because in the common denominator in all of this is you. In failed bad friendships or relationships, it's been you. So you need to find out what it is. Find out find out what it was that convinced you to invest so much and move so fast previously. You have to find out what it is that you felt that you were lacking, that you attracted people that you felt could feel that. Because honestly, when people say we attract, we vibe and we attract on the same frequency, that is just it. There's a certain level of self-love and self-awareness that you would have, that somebody that doesn't serve your purpose, you're not even going to deal with it because you already know what you have. So, but if you don't feel by yourself that you have enough, or you don't value the good parts about, because I'm not saying you should be delusional and think, oh yes, I'm perfect, I'm good. No. Everybody has their good and bad sides, but don't hammer on the things that are not good. You should work on them instead. And appreciate how far you've come and how much more you have to give. And that way, when you actually present an idea, an offer of love, people can actually see clearly that you're not acting codependent and desperate to connect so fast to them. And they don't feel like you want to use them because you feel you're not enough by yourself. So those are the 3 cards of advice when it comes to how to have better relationships with people. Let me see. Okay, so let me pull some affirmation cards for B. I'm gonna get 3 affirmation cards for B. Let me see the chat. Let me see. Does anybody in the chat want a question? Done. Okay, no, I can't see any. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to pick from pile 4. And I want to get 3 affirmations. Okay, let me get one more. Okay, so let me see. We've got, I take decisive action towards my goals every day. We talked about the same thing, healing and knowing that you have to better yourself to make yourself a more ideal friend, partner, financial investor, entrepreneur, whatever it is. I own my daily progress and I honor my worth. So if you ever feel that things are getting a little bit too difficult for you, or you're getting overwhelmed, just remember that we have to realize that we are where we are as a result of all the decisions that we've made. Sometimes it's even just physical decisions like deciding to leave your house at a certain time or deciding to study something. But everywhere you are is as a result of where you are. And if you don't like where you are, you have to work to change it. You didn't just happen in this situation. There are decisions and choices that you've made. Yeah, so you have to intentionally take decisive actions towards your goals. Your goals are to be financially stable. Your goals are to have valuable and mutually beneficial and long-lasting friendships and romantic relationships and all that. So you actually have to take decisive decisions when it comes to your finances. You know, we talked about earlier focusing on what works and not losing sight, having to revisit or revise your ideas to make them more financially profitable. We also talked about let me see, can I remember? Yeah, when it talks about decisive, that was that. Yeah, I think that was that. I don't want to mix it with the reading for done. Okay, yeah, I own my daily progress. That is acknowledging where you are, counting your blessings, knowing that everything takes time. So the daily things that you do, you have to give yourself encouragement to keep at them because you know the end goal that you are working towards. And I honor my worth. That is the thing. Honoring your worth and choosing not to appear too desperate and allowing things take time so that people can actually see you for who you are without feeling the pressure to move faster than they're actually comfortable with. And that will also give you more time to actually find out whether these people are even worth investing your time and sharing your ideas and literally giving your heart to. Okay, so that's it for B. Let me see. Oh, I did good time today. Last time I talked for almost like 2 hours. This is like 42 minutes. Is there anybody else that wants any other question done? Okay, let me see. Okay, no, I can't see. So let me just do just a general reading for anybody else that hasn't asked for a question, and just general advice that will take us through this week. I'm going to get 3 cards from here, and I'll get 1 from this one, and then we'll call it a day. 5 of Blades upright, conflict. Three of Coins, collaboration. I'm going to show you the cards in a bit. Hierophant. Oh, no. These are 2 that came up and I wanted just 1. So let me get them again. I should have checked that. First of Coins upright. And 1 more. I'm already sensing something, but Warrior of Vessels upright. Bottom of the deck, 3 of Vessels, community. So then you might find yourself going through some conflict this week. Now, this might be internal conflict or it might be external conflict. If it's internal conflict, you might find that you are battling thoughts with having to relegate things when it comes to your finances and making your money work for you, or whether you need to actually focus on building your dream and paying attention to your dream. So, but then if it's external conflict, you might find that while you want to put a lot of resources into something, somebody that you are trying to partner with might tell you to slow down a little bit, But the important thing when it comes to the Five of Blades, also known as Five of Swords, one important thing that we learn from this is that everybody that is here actually has a valid opinion, particularly when it comes to like finances or anything. You might have the perfect product, but it's important for you to test the market to see and make sure. And even if what they are saying doesn't make sense, it's something that you might need to retweak, so that if one person has that opinion, you have to at least make sure that you deal with that. So don't just disregard any conflict. Sometimes conflicts are just reminders of things that we actually might have been unaware of, or things that we need to focus more on. So not all conflict is bad. Conflict just identifies places that we can do better. That's just what it is. And the first Star of Coins reminds you that you've grown in a certain level, so it might be time to relegate. It might be time to actually make your money work for you. This is a time where you have to pull back from from actually being the action person, and find a way to relegate. Either relegate by spending more money, or relegate by assigning or partnering with other people. And with the Warrior of Vessels come up, right, saying it's important for you to stop and smell the roses and look at the tiny details. When they say the devil is in the details, the little things. Dot your I's, cross your T's while you're relegating. Relegating might give you more physical time, but then it also gives you space creatively to be able to think and strategize more intuitively, because you're not dealing with the physical stuff. So yeah. So those are things that you might have to do with this week. Appreciating alternative perspectives with the Five of Blades upright, and dealing with conflict, finding a way to be more efficient with how you make your money work for you, and spending time looking at the little details of things, so that things can actually blossom and grow in a way that actually makes your heart feel happy. Then one card from here. Frustration in reverse. Yeah. There's no point trying to fit a square peg into a round hole. That came up in reverse. So yeah, and that talks about dealing with conflict as well, dealing with that. So this just lets you know really that it's time to do away with the fighting, acknowledge the different opinions, but it doesn't have to get too contentious. Doesn't have to get exchanging words. At least listen and then process. Listen to watch out for the conflicts, know how to manage them, and know what to actually focus on the details. And then frustration really would be in reverse, because you're actually giving yourself time to process things the way they are meant to go. Right, so that's it for today's Tarot Tuesday. If you want to join the next Tarot Tuesday, just subscribe to the channel, follow on Instagram and or Facebook, and then DM your question. There's different price points. If you have any questions, just DM me and I can give you more information. I accept payment in Nigerian Naira and British Pounds and dollars as well. I can also book a one-on-one personal reading. I read online via WhatsApp video call or Google Meet, but mostly WhatsApp video call. And then I also read in person at TheQforTarot in Jahi, Abuja. Thank you for being here with me, and see you next Tuesday. Bye.